So let's make something in React real quick. What do we need at a minimum? We need an HTML document with at least one empty element, right? Let's go ahead and make one. Make it a div with an ID of root. And that's all the HTML I'm going to do. That's it. That's the entire document. Now this is CodePen where you don't need a head and a body and all that stuff. That's all I'm putting in my HTML. And then we said we need to actually include the React library, right? CodePen makes that easy. If you go to Settings and go to JavaScript, you can add some external scripts. You can paste in any script you want, or you can use their quick add here. So let's quickly add React, and that gets us the React library. It'll basically throw that script tag in there for us. And we also need React DOM. React DOM because React also works on mobile. There is React Native, which actually compiles native apps for iOS and Android. But we are working with the web version of React, so we need React DOM. The React library is the same either way. React DOM changes. And we need one more thing. We need a JavaScript preprocessor called Babel. So JSX is not standard JavaScript. Browsers do not understand it natively. It's not even on track to be part of the ECMAScript standard. But it can be transformed into JavaScript. But to do that, you need to basically compile it first. So now we aren't just writing stuff that runs natively in the browser. We're writing stuff that has to go through a build process like a compiler to turn it into real JavaScript. And that's what Babel is. All right, now that we've done that. No, it's something that we'll do before we put it on the server, basically. So we'll see when we start building it from scratch. But it's going to happen for us automatically here in CodePen. So if it were a Chrome extension or something, that would mean everyone who uses your site would need that too, right? So we need to actually make sure we've turned it into real JavaScript before we release it. But we can do it automatically. So in JavaScript, we need two more things, right? We need a component, and we need to attach that component to the DOM. So let's make the simplest component we possibly can. It'll be a class. We'll call it app. And we're actually going to use inheritance here, right? So instead of just a class that doesn't inherit from anything, we need to actually inherit from the default component class in React. So extends is how we do that in JavaScript. React.component. So we've already defined React just by including the React script on the page. So React.component is available to us, and that's what we need to inherit from. And every React component needs one method, render. It's the only one that's absolutely mandatory. And render needs to return some JSX. It needs to return, more specifically, a React element. Now, we could create a React element by doing React.createElement, but that's a pain in the neck. So instead, we generally just return a JSX component, or a JSX element. So return, let's just say h1. Hello. There we go. We have a React component. That's enough. And the fourth thing we need is to actually attach that component to the DOM, which we do by calling React DOM.render, telling it what component you want to render by actually instantiating it with JSX, and telling it what element on the page you wish to replace. And this is the only time we will actually reference the DOM. So I'll say document.querySelector #root. apologize for all the sniffles in the recording. It did the quotes funny on me. And there we go. This is a complete React app. I have a component that returns a React element via JSX. I tell it which thing on the DOM to replace with that component. And that's it. I'm never going to touch this HTML again. Questions so far?